What's up, YouTube? My name is Caleb. I'm going to be your dodgeball coach for today. I'm going to be giving you guys tips about catching, throwing, and dodging. All right, those are the main three things you're going to be doing when you're first starting out as a beginner, or you can use these tips for any level of play. But I think these are really good for beginners to have to know and to do, so they don't get into like a bad habit or anything like that. So, first thing we're going to talk about is dodging, and then we're going to talk about catching and then throwing. So dodging, I have on here is dodging before the ball even gets to you. You get players that like to do fakes and everything, and you'll sometimes jump or react before the ball even comes to you. So then that just sets you up for to get hit pretty easily. The main thing I do to not do that is I wait for the ball to be released, and you just pay attention to where, like, their arm movement. Sometimes you can tell where the ball is going before it's going there, but mainly what you want to do is want to wait for that ball to release out their hand first, and then react or get out the way of the ball. Then that's really hard to do. It takes a lot of practice to do that, but that's what you want to do. And sometimes reacting before the ball gets to you, you may get lucky and dodge it or whatever, but it's really important that you wait. As soon as it gets out their hand, you should already be dodging out the way and not before it gets out their hand, because sometimes you'll get players that are about to throw, but you dodge right before they throw it, so then they hold on to a second later and throw it at you, and then you're setting yourself up not being able to dodge the ball after that. So second on here, I have footwork. So I'm actually gonna tilt the camera down a little bit. So with footwork, basically just using your lateral movement to get away from the ball. What I like to do, I like to pivot a lot. That's a really good skill to have. Make your body pretty much parallel to the ball. Makes you smaller to the ball. Makes it easier to dodge. So using your pivots, pivoting this way, maybe a spin. I don't know. Spin is a little tricky. I wouldn't recommend a spin, but doing a pivot, moving left to right, out of the way, not to where you're bumping against the next player next to you, but just moving just enough to get out the way of the ball and saving your energy. Okay, I see a lot of players that, like, the ball is coming at their legs, and they clear the ball jumping 10 feet, 100 feet in the air, when all you have to do was do this, pivot out the way of the ball as it's coming at you. All right. And that takes practice too. I practice a lot off camera, just pivoting. I'll play some music, do a little dance, kind of like a little dance routine. Do this, move out the way like this. It's a little dance routine, and it pays off once you get the hang of it. So using the footwork allows you to not use your energy so much of putting all your energy in dodging one ball, when all you had to do was a little small movement to get out the way. Do one of these. All right, catching. Everyone has a catching zone. For most people, it's from your hip to your chest. All right, that's where their catching zone is. Hip to the chest, chest to the hip, and you're right in this area right here. That's where the catching zone is. What I like to do is sometimes keep my hands ready. So when I don't have a ball, keep my hands ready. And sometimes you'll find it where players will just throw the ball at your hands, and it becomes really easy to catch. Catching takes a lot of practice to do. You have your hard throwers, the people that don't throw hard enough. Everyone has a catching zone. Stick to that catching zone. Try not to extend your arms out for a catch. It works out depending on how good you are at catching, but for first starting out, and if you're playing competition, because you don't want to get out in competition, you want to do your best. best thing you can do is stay within your catching zone. Keeping those hands ready. You don't have to, but I like to, and it helps me out. Helps me out a lot better. Keeping those hands ready. I wish I had somebody out here to demonstrate, but yeah, everyone has a catching zone. For me, I don't like to extend my hands, but when I do, I'm confident enough to know where the ball is and catch it. You know, I have really good eye coordination. All right, different ways to catch. Let me get a ball real quick. I'm gonna show you guys different ways you can catch the ball. I don't recommend, like I said, I recommend you guys staying within your catching zone. So like in this area, down to here is where most people are. You can also sometimes bend down for the ball, and then the catching zone just moves down with the ball. You know, maybe the ball is over here, like that. Catch it like that. Catch it with your hands out like this. I used to play wide receiver in football, so I'm used to catching the ball like a wide receiver. Like if it's a quarterback throwing the football at me, I'm used to catching it out like here. I'm not used to catching it with my body, but I can. That's the easiest way to catch the ball, is with your body, just a natural way. That's one way to catch is with your body, or with your hands out like this. Or you can, like I said, you can bend down for the ball, catch it like this. Yeah, different ways to catch. You can, instead of extending your arms out to get the ball, if possible, it's better to move with the ball, where the ball is. So the ball is coming over here. Instead of me catching the ball out here, I kind of like lean in there and catch it with my chest, or my stomach, or my hands, whatever I'm comfortable with. Catch it like that. All right. So that's different ways to catch. Throwing. If you want me to do a video on how to throw, I throw mostly underhand and overhand. There's different ways to throw. You can throw the ball. But I'm not teaching you guys how to throw in this video. I'm gonna teach you where to throw. And first tip on here is aim low. All right. It's pretty obvious why we need to aim low. You'll get the players that like to catch a lot. Some players don't like dodging, and if you throw it up at their chest in their catching zone, they will catch it. No matter how hard you throw the ball at them, they will surprise you and catch the ball sometimes. Where you want to aim at is like pretty much want to aim at the knees, the shin, knees, and foot. That's where they're most vulnerable at. The main thing I hate though is getting players that like to jump a lot, so that annoys me. So, but for the most part, you want to aim low. Always aim low. There's like different situations where you would aim high, but I'll go into detail if you guys want a video on that, on throwing. But yeah, aiming low keeps them from catching the ball. Sometimes you'll get lucky players that might catch it with their leg, or catch it like this behind their leg, or and yeah. I don't recommend you throwing the ball at players that are like on the ground like this, waiting for a ball, because most people can't throw it low enough where it's to right here. They end up throwing it at their catching zone. Even though you're aiming low, you're still throwing at their catching zone, so don't throw it at the catching zone. If they're in this position, you want to bait them. All right. You want to throw it outside their catching zone. It's hard to lean when they're on their knees, so you want to bait them to throw it in the catching zone. Throw it outside the catching zone, so you want to make them reach for the ball rather than throwing it at their catching zone. And if you make them do that, they might. Most times they will not catch it. It'll just bounce off their shoulder, or they'll hit their arm, or whatever. And yeah. Always aim low. Another thing, when you're aiming low, you'll get players that like to dodge before you even throw the ball, because they already know, oh yeah, this guy's throwing it low. He's trying to hit my legs, so they're already jumping in the air, or they're already like taking a knee with the ball and crouching like this, making it where you can't hit them. So you want to change up your throws sometimes. This ball is really squishy. It's a rubber ball we use for Dodgeball Club. It's a rubber ball that we use for Dodgeball Club. It's really thin. It's not like a playground, not your usual playground ball. It's a 7-inch rubber ball, and it when you rotate it really fast, it can change shape. So my point is, like with this ball, sometimes I aim low, but then once they catch on that I'm just gonna keep aiming low, I rotate the ball where the ball is curves upward, and that's just one way you can change up your throw. Is changing the curve of how you throw the ball, making it look like you're going to aim low and then going in with the overhand or whatever. But yeah, it's important that you guys change up your throw once you see that they're catching on and they're just reacting way before you even throw the ball. That's when you can start aiming high, maybe, especially at those jumpers. People that like to jump a lot, and that's all the tips that I was gonna go through today. And I hope this was very helpful. If it was, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.